Hey, has anyone ever thought about the fact that prom is a really weird word? What does prom even mean? Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Olivia Marie MUA. So excited about today's tutorial because it is prom season. Promposals have been poseled. Today I'm going to be doing a pretty easy, but it's still a little elevated. It's a more glam look. This is going to be very universal. It should work with almost any look, but what I love about it is you can also add some stuff to make it a little more personalized, maybe match your dress or your suit or whatever you're wearing to prom. My dress was from Forever 21. It was a short champagne colored tutu. I think I had like an hour to get ready for my prom. And I did it all myself. I did my own makeup, I did my own hair. Did I look amazing? I don't know. This video, I'm going to be sharing tips on how to make your makeup last through sweat, through taking your prom pictures outside in the sun. But we are raising the bar a little bit. We are preparing for a big event, so it's gonna be a little bit more extensive than some of my past tutorials. I'm gonna try to keep it still relatively simple. So before we get started, as always, you guys, every product that I'm going to use is going to be linked below, so go check that out. And let's get ready for prom. So to get started, tanning before prom is a thing. I don't know why. I mean, having a nice tan before any event is always lovely, and I don't think it's a bad thing. But what I do want you to avoid, please, 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 please don't use tanning beds, and please don't go to the sun to get your tan. You're young. You're 16, 17, 18 years old. You have beautiful skin. Please don't damage it. If you're going to tan, please get a spray tan, or if you want to save money, you can always do body makeup. I am going to put on a little bit of this Naked Skin Organic Body Bling Instant Shimmer Body Makeup. I will also be using a tanning mitt to put this on. It will help give you that a much better finish. Anytime you're doing something like this, when you're getting a tan or putting body makeup on, always do it first before you do your face makeup so that everything matches. I just put that body makeup on. As you can see, I have a nice golden glow. It's not sticky, it is setting down. I feel like I can touch my arms. Here's the tea. I don't mean to sound like an old lady that wants you to use SPF, but I am an old lady that wants you to use SPF. So what I'm going to do before anything else is put on a little SPF, because I know you're all gonna take prom pictures outside in front of somebody's mom's house. It's a staple of the prom experience. You're gonna be outside. My favorite that I have found so far that is inexpensive, doesn't mess up my makeup, and protects my skin is the Neutrogena Clear Face. It's SPF 55 and it doesn't break you out, and it also dries down to a more matte finish. I'm just gonna slather that on. So I just moved you guys in for a closer look, but that SPF is on my skin and it is setting down and getting kind of like more dry to the touch. Now, so this is how we're going to tan up our face a little bit. What you can do is you can just get a foundation that matches your tan skin tone, but that can be hard to match when you don't have the tan yet, if that makes sense. So what I'm gonna do is I have my Smashbox Primerizer, which is kind of a lightweight priming moisturizer, which is really, really nice. So on a palette, I just put some of that primerizer, and I'm going to take a little bit of this Naked Skin and just put the tiniest bit of this stuff, because it is pretty pigmented. That might even be too much, but we'll see. I have like a little buffing brush, and I'm going to mix these together on the palette. The reason I'm doing it on a palette and not my hand is because the tanner will stain my hand, and I already put tanner like kind of on the back of my hands, and I don't want to get that anywhere else. So it's pretty much all on my brush, so I'm just going to kind of buff that in. So I'm priming and tanning at the same time, which is good. So my face is warmed up, it's primed. You could start putting makeup on right now. For events like this, I really enjoy going for like a glowier, more illuminating look. I think it photographs beautifully in all of your pictures, and you just look like a princess. So I have what has become one of my new favorite products. This went immediately into my kit. I've been using it on models like crazy. The Becca First Light Priming Filter. So this has like a purple hue that goes away when you put it on, and it's also just a little bit shimmery. And I'm gonna use that same brush because why not? And we're just buffing that all over the skin. If you have dry skin, these steps are great. More hydration, more illumination is great. If you have oily skin, please do not fret. If this concerns you, adding this kind of extra illumination, and you're worried about your makeup lasting, that's totally fine. It shouldn't be a problem, but if it makes you nervous, you can totally skip this. This is me being a little bit excessive. What I love about this primer is it does have like a tackiness to it, so your makeup does kind of stick to it very, very well. Now, here's a step for my oily people or my combination people that get oily in certain parts of their face. Grab a fluffy brush. I like to go for a light fan brush. You're gonna go in with a little bit of translucent powder before you even do your foundation. Now, to some people that might sound kind of like, oh no, it's going to be cakey. If you have the right translucent powder and it's lightweight enough, it should not affect your foundation at all. Now, what you can do is you can just kind of press that into the areas that you might get oily later on. This is a great tip if you're doing a wedding, if you're gonna be outside and hot. I mean, this is a great tip for anybody that has oily skin, but also just if you're doing an event. On the eyelids is good if you get oily eyelids. So those are kind of my oily areas. Before we do foundation, this is actually a really great step if you're trying to make your makeup last a really long time. Go in with a setting spray right before you do your foundation. This is the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. A really good one for events, long-lasting makeup is the Urban Decay All Nighter. Scandinavia makes a really great one. I'm just gonna spray my face and then immediately follow with foundation. I'm getting a little bit of foundation in a shade that matches the body. I'm going to add just a drop to my palette here. This L'Oreal Lumi Glow Drops. This product isn't like mind-blowingly good. I'm not like obsessed with it. I've been enjoying adding drops of this to my foundation. So on this Duo Fiber brush, this is kind of more personal to me. If you just want to go in with a normal foundation brush or a sponge, you totally can. But I've been really enjoying this like this buffing brush. Basically what I'm doing is giving myself like an even canvas with one very thin layer of foundation. My skin's been in a really good place recently, so I've been enjoying like lighter coverage and just more natural finishes to everything. So then what you can do is go in with a more packed foundation brush like this, a little more dense. Grab a little bit of product and go in where you need coverage. So if you have any blemishes or anything like that, you can go in and be a little more specific. So for concealer, I think I've used this trick before. I do have a little bit of darkness in the inner corner that I want to correct. So I'm going to take a slightly warmer, more golden yellowy concealer and just dot that right there. And I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to press that into that area to cancel out that bluish undertone. As you can see, I look very awake. For an event, I do like to kind of do a highlighted under eye. It just kind of makes you look a little more, but you don't want to do anything too crazy or heavy. So I really like the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer. I don't love the applicator, but whatever, we won't go into it. I really like this because it is actually a very thin formula, and I feel like people would typically dislike this product because of that, but it's really nice for layering over your foundation, adding some lightness, but it doesn't add a lot of weight. So it just brightens and helps shape your face without caking makeup on. I'm actually focusing this very inward. I'm not doing like the whole under eye. I want to kind of bring my shape inward, more narrow, and it will kind of give me more like almost a thinner face because everything's going to be brought in by this application of lightness. Does that make sense? So I'm just gonna use this kind of dense packing brush, start to blend that out. But when I say blend out, I actually kind of want to blend it inward because that's where I want everything to kind of, like I said, be brought in. So setting all of this is very important for long wearing makeup to make sure it's going to last throughout the evening. So I did grab a beauty sponge. So I'm gonna dip the sponge in. I really do prefer setting with a sponge. You can totally set with a brush, but if you want to really stop any creasing under the eye and really set things, pressing powder in with a sponge is going to be your savior. I am only setting that concealer that I just laid down and the parts of my face that might get oily, so around my nose. Moving on to brows, I am going to speed through brows or else this video is going to be way too long, but I want to share that I've been doing a new technique that I have not done in a video before, and that is soap brows. There is a product called soap brows that you can purchase. It is a little more expensive. I think it's like 15 or 20 bucks. I went to Walmart, got myself $2 soap. The only important thing you need to know is that you need to get soap that's going to dry translucent. You don't want the like white Dove bars of soap. Those are gonna dry and give you like eyebrow dandruff. So I just leave my bar of soap in the box so that I don't get my hands all soapy. Get your spoolie wet. I am going to use a spray bottle for the purposes of today's video. And then I'm going to get the spoolie all soaked up. Just get it in there. Basically, the soap is going to fill in your eyebrows. And then what you can actually do is kind of take your finger and press the hairs down to kind of almost lock it in place. And then what you will do is go in with your preferred brow fill product. You guys know I love a pencil, so I have been using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz and fill in gaps. So anywhere you have kind of a hole, but that is soap brows, and I'm really enjoying soap brows, but I'm going to finish this up off camera to save some time, and I will be right back. Okay, brows are done. So it is important to prime your eyelids before, again, an event. I really love the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I'm just gonna take this on kind of like a fluffy brush. You can also use your finger, but I like using a brush for this one. You do want to make sure that eyeshadow primers are very well blended out because it could give you blending issues with your eyeshadow later. So do take your time with this step. With any eyeshadow primer, I do like to go in with a little bit of my translucent powder and just kind of, especially around the crease area, just kind of dust a little bit on so that your eyeshadow blends. Okay, so for this look, I am going to be using my trusty Jaclyn Hill palette. And to start, I am gonna go in with this lightest brown shade in the palette up here. I do want this crease makeup to set as high on the crease as possible. So I am going to kind of tilt my head back, look in my mirror, and find kind of that high point right here. So if I was gonna look straight forward and put this in my crease, I would have shoved it like right here, and that would kind of sit lower. Using the lightest shade, just finding that shape. I'm going to drag it out. What's complementary to my kind of almond eye shape is dragging the shade outward and kind of creating like a matching almond shape. Blend, 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 blend. There's no such thing as too much blending. I'm gonna go in with these two shades right here to start deepening that even more. Lowering it ever so slightly. I'm using the same brush, deepening that, especially on the outside. I'm going to go in with this shade. So I have this kind of lighter shade. So what you wanna do is you wanna kind of use the rounded shape of the brush to kind of give you a rounded lid shade. This is almost like doing a cut crease, but it's a little bit softer. And then I have my crease brush nearby to blend that. So we have a seamless transition from that lid shade. I'm going to get like a tighter pencil brush and go into the darker brown shade from the crease and run it on the lower lash line and connect into that shape, that oval, that almondy shape. Just running it under there and up. So that's the eyeshadow. You can stop here, we are gonna do eyeliner in just a second. If you wanna deepen the crease even more, you totally can go in with the next step, darker brown, and just kind of run it even tighter and deepen that. I am going to take kind of a fun step. I got this product from Colourpop. It is their Jelly Much eyeshadow, and this is the one in Perfectly Wretched from their Villains collection. And this is just kind of like a, I don't know how to explain it. It is just a jelly eyeshadow. Anyways, I'm going to apply this on the lid as kind of a top coat. It's just that extra bit of glam, extra little bit of bling. I'm just going to tap that on top of the eyeshadow I did before. So that's just like an extra pop. And if you have a metallic eyeshadow in your collection that does pretty much this same thing, then go ahead and use it. And really quick before moving on, I am gonna go in with that same light shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette and just run a little bit of that eyeshadow just underneath my brow bone. And you know what? In this inner corner as well. You can totally skip this next step and just put eyelashes on, like mascara and eyelashes, and move on. But I just really love eyeliner. First, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a black pencil and fill in my waterline. I like to fill in my lash line to make them look more dense. What I like to do when I'm doing a cat eye is I like to go in with gel liner on a brush to kind of map out what I'm doing, and then I will go in with the liquid liner afterwards to get a nice crisp line. I have this tiny little brush, can you see it? And my L'Oreal gel liner going in with that. And I'm going to just start mapping out and drawing on my cat eye. What I like to do is I just kind of do a line of black across the lash line, and then I do a line going up to kind of trace the flick, and then I bring it all together and connect it. The general rule of thumb is to follow the angle of where your kind of bottom lash line is going. Then just bring it all together. So now I'm going in with my NYX matte black liquid liner, and I've completely fallen in love with this eyeliner. The applicator might take a little bit of practice. It is a brush that's very long and thin, but once you get the hang of it, it really does the trick. Done. If this intimidates you, don't be afraid to practice a few days before prom, get comfortable with it. But again, if it's like really not working for you, you don't have to do it. You can skip it and still look absolutely gorgeous. I'm just gonna go in really fast with some mascara. I like to do mascara pretty quickly after liquid eyeliner so that I can kind of unclump my eyelashes. So before I finish up the eyes and put lashes on, I am gonna go back into that Jelly Much eyeshadow, pick up some of the product on like a tiny brush, and I'm actually going to put a little bit of it in the inner corner to get that extra bling. So I have these big honkin' lashes. Can you see how dramatic these are? They're very dramatic. I will put down below what style they are. I'm using black duo glue, and I'm just going to line the band, let it get a little bit tacky so that when you put it on your eye, it just kind of sticks on. It's not sliding all over the place and making a mess. I'm gonna land it like an airplane, kind of like, ooh, at an angle. So I'm kind of tilting it downward, and then I will kind of place it, so. There we go. Edge. I always place it in the middle, and then I glue down the edges where I want them to be glued down. Okay, so eyes are done. Let's bronze up this face, get some shape going. I'm using the B&H Cosmetics Powder Contour Palette. I'm gonna kind of mix these two shades together. I'm going to buff that, not down here. I'm gonna apply it right where your like cheekbone is hard. Catch all that sunshine, bring that in. I like to bring my bronzer in to the apples of my cheeks, warm everything up, frame up the forehead. Now y'all know I love blush, and I recently picked up the Glossier Cloud Paints which is just a cream blush, but they're so beautiful. The finish is insane. I'm going to take this kind of more muted one, Dusk, and mix in a little bit of Beam. So that's that. And I'm gonna go in with this Duo Fiber Colourpop brush. This is smaller than the one I use for my foundation. And I'm going to use this to buff this blush on my cheeks. I'm gonna mix those two together with my finger and just place that where I want it. I love the formula of this because it layers over powder just fine, but it also mixes with complexion products beautifully. Or if you just want to put this straight on your skin, it also works very well. It's a very versatile product. I really like it. It's on the apples, moving it out, just adding that pinky tone to my cheeks. And this is Prom, you guys, so obviously we're gonna use highlighter. So I'm going to kind of take, again, this eyeshadow actually from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and specifically just putting it right there. Blinding. Take a little bit of your setting spray, just a little, dusting. I'm gonna use this with the translucent powder. You don't want to use too much. I'm going to press this kind of everywhere. I really love the loose translucent powders because they get the job done, but they still look more like your skin. I'm just having that, locking all of this in. And then of course, one more time with the setting spray because we can't be too careful. So finally for lip, I'm just gonna go in with my favorite nude pink lipstick, which is I Lust For by Hourglass in this really pretty bullet. I have to be careful with this one, it broke. And I'm going in with my Morphe lip gloss in Boho, which is a nice, very light pink gloss. There you have it, a very glowy, universally flattering prom makeup look. We have big lashes, glossy lips, illuminated skin that's going to last through your pictures and last through the dancing. Let me just real quick go polish off this look and I'll be right back. So here you go, you guys, my finished kind of impromptu prom look. Now maybe before you get dressed, a great thing to do, I love this, I actually learned this tip recently watching Tati Westbrook's video with J-Lo's makeup artist, Scott Barnes. He keeps SPF sunscreen spray in his makeup kit to give you a beautiful glow, and it works so well. You will be protected from the sun, you'll smell great, and you will also have a beautiful glow to your skin. You guys, is that not the best tip ever? I'm obsessed. Protect yourself, look amazing, and yeah, that's the finished look. If you're wearing red and you want to wear a red lip, swap that out. It'll still all go together very beautifully. Say you're wearing a blue dress and you want to put some sort of blue into your makeup, you can just simply run like a blue eyeshadow or a blue eyeliner like underneath. Same thing goes for green or any other colors. You can add pops of color to this very easily and it'll look great. I'm all locked in. My makeup feels like it's gonna last. I think this looks awesome. I wish I had somewhere to go right now because I feel really pretty. This is the best part of prom, is just feeling your best, feeling like a queen, a princess, prince, king, queen, whatever. You just want to feel dressed up, special, and you're going out with your friends, your classmates, and having an amazing time. So please, if you did this look for your prom or any other type of event, please send me a picture. I'd love to see it. Comment down below, let me know what you think of this look. Please subscribe to my channel. Please click that like button if you enjoyed this tutorial. And if you are going to prom or a senior ball or anything like that, please be safe. Please have such a great time. I hope you all feel beautiful and special. I love you guys so much. I hope you found this useful. I hope you learned something today. And I can't wait to make another video for you very soon. Bye-bye.